Welcome to the channel, guys. Mr. H here for my review of Hobbs and Shaw. So what we'll do is we'll talk non-spoilers first, then we'll get into spoilers. You'll have a massive fair warning because I don't want to spoil anything of this film for you. It's not really too much to spoil though, I will say that. Yeah, there's just not an awful lot to spoil. Like, if you've seen the trailers, you've kind of seen the film. But there's some bits, like, towards the end and things like that, which I don't want to spoil for you all. So, first things first, is this a good film? Yes and no. It's so difficult to really review these kind of films. I had a great time with this, but it's by no means a good film, if that makes any sense at all. So, let me just break it down, right? This movie is a series of absolutely insane and awesome action scenes. Really cool action scenes. With very funny, at times laugh out loud, comedic dialogue. Strung together with a bad story. So, that's kind of the best way to describe it. But I don't think that's to the film's detriment, because it's shot perfectly fine. It's not a movie that you look at and you go, oh yeah, that's beautifully shot. And there's some janky CG in there, like every now and then. But for the most part, the CG is pretty good. And it has to be, because there are some quite CG heavy scenes, which I'll get into when we talk. Well, it's not really spoilers, but we'll talk it in spoilers. So, I had a great time with the film, but it's not something which I would want to watch again. But I'm happy I watched it. So, if you want a good popcorn flick, go and watch the film. Like, The Rock and Jason Statham are The Rock and Jason Statham. They actually they really bounce off one another very well in this film. And there's some great comedic chops between the two of them. It was solid. Vanessa Kirby was the standout. A lot of you might not recognise her in terms of name, but she wasn't really in anything massive up until this. She was in Mission Impossible Fallout, so she has been in some things. Prior to that, she has had, a very wide television career, as well as some movies. About Time, the romantic comedy. So she's been in quite a lot of stuff, but she's kind of breaking out into her own now. And she was really good in this. Quite believable, actually. No one was bad at all. Idris Elba was great. As always, I mean, he's Idris Elba, right? In this, he plays the Black Superman, as he, self-proclaims himself. It was good. I enjoyed the film a lot. Now, the real detractors for this is just that the story's a bit crap. And it's not even that it's particularly bad. It's just super far-fetched and doesn't really move along properly. You've got there's a virus, and you've got to do this and do that, and the whole world's in peril. That's basically the story, but it's just not. It's just skin deep, But that's why would you go to a Fast and Furious movie for anything else? I don't think people watch these movies for a deep story. You go there for. Well, initially it was the awesome cars, but we've moved past that to just bombastic, huge action set pieces, and you get that with this. There's some awkward, we love family moments in this, and your family's really important. That's like an underlying subplot, I guess. And it's a bit weak, but I think maybe American audiences may resonate with it a little bit more, I guess. I don't know. It's just a guess. But all in all, good film. I think it will probably storm the box office because it was very funny. You do have to stay to the mid-credits, because there is a mid-credit scene. And that's really all I can say about a film like this. I'm not going to critique its cinematography, because it's fine. It's nothing absolutely exceptional. The camera work was fine. The lighting, it was all fine. But the action set pieces were solid. Very well put together, if absolutely nonsensical in and unto itself. Never in a million years would this stuff happen, but that's not what you go to a Fast and Furious film for. So yeah, go and watch the film. Highly recommend. It's a switch off your brain, just enjoy it and laugh film. I think some people will probably not want to go and watch a film like that. I get that, but this is very good. So there you go. That's as much as I can say in terms of non-spoilers. So here's your spoiler warning. We're going to get into spoilers now. You've been warned. And let's get into spoilers. So Idris Elba is a cybernetically enhanced human with, you know, like a robotic spine. He wears bulletproof armor, and he has like some computer programs in his face, which, as he's using them, his eyes glaze over orange, and he just becomes an absolute beast, basically. He can lift stuff stronger than him. He can calculate maneuvers and things like that. Kind of like a Terminator, I guess. And there is even a line in this which likens him to the Terminator, which is very funny. And his dialogue, because if you've seen the trailers, as he says, you know, I'm the Black Superman, it sounds a little bit cheesy, and it is, but it lands and it works. It was very, very good. Jason Statham and The Rock, as they bounce off one another, I would be really curious to know how much of this was improv, because there are some lines in this which are just absolute classic. Like, genuinely absolute classic. Very, very funny lines. They're just riffing on one another the entire movie, absolutely tearing one another apart. So, the story in a nutshell, right, and why I think it's completely nonsensical and a bit crap. Vanessa Kirby's character is Jason Statham's sister. She gets infected with a virus. The virus is a programmable virus created by a company called Eteon, which is like a death cult, wishing for humans to be cybernetically enhanced and the weak to die and all this kind of stuff. She gets infected by this virus. The Rock and Jason Statham get roped in to go and rescue her, to save her, because she's on MI6's most wanted list and the CIA's wanted list, all this kind of crap. And then Eteon somehow frame Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham for murder and the theft of a virus or something like that. So it's super nonsensical, and they have to go to Eteon's Russian lab to get an extraction device to get the virus out of her, which is in like little, I kid you not, little capsules. It's hilarious. Inside her body, inside her bloodstream, but it's not moved. It's super nonsensical. And the story just chugs along like that, basically, from scene to scene, with all of these massive action set pieces. And there's a super dumb scene at the end with a helicopter and a chain of cars and how they all link up to one another. Some of it is bad CG, like a lot of it is bad CG. And what I was saying with respect to the janky CG at the start, which I couldn't really say, was Idris Elba rides this motorcycle, and the midsection where the seat is folds down, and so does other parts of it. It's like a transformer, basically, which means he can do these maneuvers. And some of the shots are bad CG, but all in all, as a movie which has a lot of CGI, I really liked it. It was fine. And it was just fun. It was just dumb fun. I don't think you need to watch any of the other movies to enjoy this film. It's not rich with continuity. I don't think they care that much. It was just dumb fun. I enjoyed it very much, and I would highly recommend it. It's definitively a summer blockbuster for sure. If it doesn't rake in, I would imagine probably 400 to 500 million. I think is probably a good guesstimate, and it looks like it's tracking for that, because I watched it. Well, I mean, I watched it on a Sunday, and there was a lot of people there, and apparently in the previews alone, it sold a lot of money, and I think it deserves it. There is a post-credit scene. Ryan Reynolds is in this as well, which I didn't even know. And again, Ryan Reynolds is Ryan Reynolds. He was very funny. Bounces off Dwayne Johnson's character very, very well. And there's a post-credit scene which sets up a sequel where there's another virus. It's just viruses, basically. I'd highly recommend this film. I really, really enjoyed it. I think you would too. But as well, if you've not enjoyed just the switch off your brain, funny movies, you're not going to enjoy this. And it's not really rich with cars. You don't look. I mean, Jason Statham's character drives around in a McLaren, but I saw a Toyota Celica on the screen, and I was more interested in the Celica just because I've not seen one in a movie before. It was just funny. So if you're looking at it as, oh, I'm going to see some awesome cars, you're not going to. But there are some cool designs here and there. Go and watch the movie. I highly recommend it. But if you have seen it, I'd love to hear your thoughts. So please do let me know down below in the comments. And if you're new here, make sure you hit subscribe. You can stay up to date on the world of pop culture, movie news, movie reviews, and also some deep dive commentary videos as well. If you like what I do here on the channel with my reviews and movie news, journalism, things like that, then consider supporting on Patreon. You can find links to that, my Amazon affiliate link, and also my Teespring down below underneath this video. Thank you so much for watching though, guys. As always, I have been Mr. H. Take care.